Hello and welcome back again to the Empowerment channel. I'm your host and guide, Chloe Lauer, and this is our latest channeled drawing that came through me and my hands from Spirit and our guides. It took 2 days to make. I spent a lot of time. I was trying to be really subtle and gentle with the colors, and I actually started with colored pencils first rather than the art sticks. And so they just take more time to cover an area. And then it wasn't until actually the end that I did art sticks. So it was a kind of reversal of the whole process. And the part with art sticks is actually this significant oniony part here, and then this part here. And everything else was with colored pencil. Maybe I could share some photos of, what it looked like before those elements got added. Other late adds were these shapes here and finishing off this whole purple thing with one last connector to the base. So I just find it interesting how the drawings evolve and how they're all very different and unique. Some of them are just like really direct strokes with my hand that create clear definition of shapes, and others take more time and are more subtle and evolving, like this one. So the title of this one is Mosaic. It's a lot of layering, the pieces of our lives, the influences of our lives into one beautiful tapestry. And what are those elements that come together to create who we are and how we are evolving, growing, and healing. So life is a lot, and art helps us in the healing journeys to own our power, set clear boundaries, and free ourselves from trauma of this lifetime or generations and past lives. I've really been enjoying the work of the holistic psychologist on Instagram. Her name is Nicole. She's a doctor, and she does really great work both on YouTube, through emails, and on Instagram. So check that out if you haven't. I'll put the link below. And so today we will do a reading. I guess I do it facing you. I don't know why I feel out of practice. It's only been like one day that I didn't do it, but I'm so used to doing one of these every day. It's interesting also to look at it when it's like at that angle. It totally changes the nature of the impression of the drawing. So today we'll be asking Spirit for guidance regarding the mosaic of our lives, and also the upcoming 11/11 portal, which is tomorrow, and what lessons we need to learn or have the opportunity to learn as we move through this portal and continue laying down pieces and recoloring elements to totally change the shapes and forms of our lives. The past is actually more malleable than we think, because as we layer on different experiences, things that felt really traumatic in the moment, over time and through healing, they can really loosen their grip. I remember really weeping and being really angry and upset after a calculus exam during 12th grade. At the time, it felt like my world was over. In fact, I think I did pretty fine on the exam. I was overreacting. Well, maybe I shouldn't judge myself for overreacting, but I was very self-critical and, coming from a fear place that I hadn't done as well as I could have. There's definitely a theme for me of, wanting to optimize and feeling like didn't do it well enough or as well as I could have. And yeah, so in that moment, it felt like the whole world was ending. But, over the course of my life, that calculus exam is not very important. Certainly not very important today, as I don't even use calculus. But even in the scheme of high school, I still did really well in high school. So that's just one example of how time and perspective and context shifts our experience of the mosaic of our lives. So as we're crossing into this 11:11 portal for tomorrow, Spirit and guides, please show us the overall themes for this reading. Wow, we keep getting this card a lot. Wow. This is the second of the major arcana cards, the High Priestess. So we're really entering into owning ourselves again as the authority in our lives, the integration of light and dark, masculine and feminine, past, present, and future, in the seat of awareness of our subconscious, represented by this crescent moon that she is resting on. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. And spiritual aspects as well as intellectual. So yeah, this is a major theme of the 11:11 portal. This energy has been showing up recently. So what I'm getting is that wasn't an accident last week, but that was leading up to this 11:11 portal, and that by crossing through this portal, we're really coming into the seat of our power as the High Priestess in our lives and also in our contributions to the world. And the intersection between the spiritual world and the material world. So what is another theme? Oh my gosh. Seriously, this is crazy. Okay, so I guess it's also interesting that, yeah, this one came up in reverse. Again, we've had the Eight of Swords already. So this is coming through the feeling of being trapped. But it came out in reverse. For me, it was in reverse, and then I laid it down. So for you, it would be straight, but I'm going to put it in reverse for you because I think that's what it's meant to be. Yeah, so we're coming out of this energy of feeling stuck and trapped and owning ourselves in our power. I seriously am so amazed that these cards, like the more I do readings, the more I understand what I used to hear other readers say, was that they could really feel the shifts in the energies. It's like you have to do readings regularly to feel those shifts so subtly and to notice that these cards really are coming out a lot. And so they are a theme right now. Yeah, so, okay, so we've come out of the Eight of Swords energy, moving into the High Priestess, and then here we get the Four of Cups. So what is this lesson for the portal? This woman is looking really sad. Even though none of the cups are spilled, she has 3 cups in front of her. She's sitting against a tree, in a beautiful field with golden specks, in the background. And from the spirit or God or somebody is handing her this 4th chalice, which she can't even see because she's not looking up. Okay, so let's feel a little bit more into that one and look at what this book says. Boredom, nausea, saturation, and refusal. Well, there's something we are refusing to look at. We've been fully saturated. Maybe 3 cups has been enough for us and we don't even want this 4th cup. We're like, I can't take that. I have enough to deal with. I have enough on my plate. But what would open up, or what do we need to know? Let's get some clarification on this 4 of Cups card about boredom and refusal and being saturated. So let me reshuffle. I'll get a clarifier for that one and then for each of the others. and we'll see more subtly to these energies. So one clarifier for the Four of Cups. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups came out. So this knight is very confident. His eyes are open. He's moving forward, sitting on his white horse. And there's a beautiful waterfall in the background. So he's like oriented around nature with a great blue sky behind him, no clouds at all. So that's clarifying the Four of Cups. Clarifier for the Eight of Swords in reverse. So here we get the Five of Swords. And then for the High Priestess, we get the Seven of Pentacles. So the Five of Swords, he's looking back at two men walking out into the sea, holding two swords over his left shoulder, one sword in front of him, and two swords are on the sand. So it might have been a battle of some sort. He's kind of looking at the past. And then the Seven of Pentacles, this man is standing confidently, holding a walking stick with seven pentacles in a bush beside him. So I feel like this is saying there will be financial abundance, owning our authority and stepping into our spiritual gifts. And this is saying we're moving out of feeling trapped and regret. And yet there's a part of us that we're still looking back behind us, kind of wondering what might have happened differently or what was our role in this battle. And then this one, we need some time to integrate and to rest because we feel satiated. But when we do give ourselves that time to digest, we will be moving forward confidently. So let's look a little bit more at those. So the Knight of Cups or chalices is an invitation, encouragement, an approach. Yeah, so we're being approached perhaps by an opportunity, by a friend who's encouraging us and bringing us good news, by a potential suitor. So it's okay to take the time if you're feeling sick or overwhelmed. You don't have to take on this next cup quite yet. Take some time to reflect and be in hermit mode, and then that energy will shift. The Five of Swords, disgrace, infamy, exile, defeat, and revoking of privileges. Wow. Yeah, so he's feeling, I guess, disgraced about this battle, exiled, defeated. That's a hard energy. So let's get some more clarification on that one before we look at the Seven of Pentacles. We'll get one more card. And this is really beautiful. This is the Four of Wands. Four Wands holding up a lovely sort of trellis of either grapes or flowers blooming. And under that, it looks like a man and a woman harvesting grapes together in front of a beautiful Italian like villa or castle. So that is interesting. So through this acknowledgement of disgrace and where we've been exiled or felt defeated, we can move into prosperity, harmony, peace, and take refuge. here. Yeah, so don't despair. There is refuge available and a place of harmony and peace. So then looking at the Seven of Pentacles, the result of one's work, business, exchange. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Basically, by doing all the work that you've done on the spiritual and physical plane and moving into this confidence and full integration of all of your gifts and powers and abilities and offering them to the world, integrating even your subconscious and the darkness that you've experienced, you will receive reward for your work. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's end with one overall guidance card from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Just cut the deck here into 3 parts. And then take the card here. Time to go is what we're getting. It's a 45. This woman is looking like a fairy, like she's partially obscured or transparent. And she's moving down this passage, this pathway lit by stars here. And then it gets harder to see. It's like there's mist around it or fog, but she knows where to go, and there's a door at the very end. So let's see what this one has to say. Hard to keep the cards all neat and tidy. Okay, 45. This is near the end of the deck. It has 52 cards. Time to go. Endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. You are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It is time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. Yeah, so I think that's reinforcing letting go of the stuck and entrapped regret and the sense of defeat and exile. And coming through this gate. There's kind of a gateway imagery in this card, similar to the gate at the very end, if you can see here. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. Yeah, I think a lot of us in the collective have been in this place already. I mean, this is what I experienced at the beginning of 2018 when I left my life that was very well structured and beautiful and, you know, secure and abundant. And I took the risk and moved on. And it did require me to be in transition for quite some time. I was literally intentionally home free, meaning I didn't have a home. So I was a nomad for 15 months. And then even now, as I'm settling in Southern California, it does still feel like a transitional time. I don't have the stable work that I did before. So financially it's transitional. And I still have a lot of community in San Francisco. So, but I'm also building new community where I am. And then doing new things like starting this channel, which is almost 2 years into my journey, maybe 18 months or 20 months. So the transition continues and is unfolding. So there's 3 messages here. So if this is speaking to you regarding a relationship, the message is it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. That doesn't mean anything is lost. Although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract, it is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. Prosperity message. So if you feel like this is in reference to your career, like if you were feeling stuck or trapped in your career, if you felt like you tried something for a while and were really defeated in it and felt exiled because of what happened, this message is clear. The path you've been on with your work, creative projects, and business alliances have come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious sign because there is no choice that will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. This is funny because I feel like we're always talking about stepping into the unknown, but it's like, it's never ending. It's always more unknown and more unknown and more unknown. And sometimes I feel exhausted by it all. It's like, well, I'm already like 50,000 miles into the unknown. But on the other hand, I do find that there's a lot of life rafts, that are sent along the way, and a lot of oases. So I'm doing my best to focus on those and enjoy those, like the peaceful place that she can sit and rest, under a beautiful tree. There's really nothing wrong right now. I mean, she might feel nauseated or satiated or full, and that's okay. That's a state. There's nothing wrong with any state of being. It's temporary. And soon, she will, if she waits and doesn't make herself more nauseated, she'll feel rested and be ready to eat again, or ready to take on the next project and respond to an invitation. I'm getting the message to share a story about a time that I felt like this, which was in 2018. I was driving across the country and I had felt really exhausted, and gone to sleep early a couple nights and rested extra, but it just wasn't passing. The exhaustion wasn't passing, and I was concerned about it. And so I got to Rapid City, South Dakota, and I booked a hotel for 3 nights so I could just rest. And I really did very little, but I did make it to see Mount Rushmore because I felt like I had enough energy that morning. But then as soon as I got back, I rested more. And then the next day I spent like the whole day in bed. It was crazy. I was like a little bit stressed about it. And then the following day after that, it had been like a week of feeling exhausted. I drove to Devil's Tower in Wyoming. I wonder if that's symbolic. It was like a visit to the devil. And it was only an hour drive, but I could barely stay awake. And when I got there, I didn't have any energy to take the hike. I felt like this woman. I didn't really feel nauseated, but I just felt completely sapped of energy. And so I went to the children's playground and I lay on the grass, and I just lay there for like an hour and 15 minutes. And still I didn't feel better. I was like, nothing was working. Resting wasn't working. And so I went to the like little store there, and I bought a banana and Coke, like small bottle of Coke in a glass jar, which I never drink Coke, but I just remembered the one time in Japan I had felt unwell, and just Coke and a banana just really revived me. And so I drank that, and all of a sudden I was fine. So, the chalice from God that's going to revive you, this one here, it may come in some form that's not your typical go-to. So be open to your instincts. They are good information that is coming through you. It is time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more usual concept of completion. You've finished your tasks and can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful new avenue of opportunity, even better than any you can imagine. You have done all you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life, and remember that when you close one door, another opens. And it's, I think, yeah, one opens that is like peaceful and prosperous. Protection message. Oh, this is if it appears upside down, but it didn't. So that is your reading. You are on the right path, and the time has come to leave these regrets behind you, to move into a new chapter, a chapter where you're fully integrated with your material and spiritual gifts that will lead to prosperity. And if you're feeling unwell, take time to rest and be open to wellness coming in a new form and support. The support is there. What you need is there. Just give it some rest, and then an invitation will arise. So that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is Chloe Lauer from the Empowerment channel. If you would like your own private reading, you can see the information is down below. I accept also donations. If you'd like to support this channel, you can go to paypal.me/Chloe, CHLOE, Lauer, LAUER. And your likes, shares, and comments are truly appreciated. And thank you for all of the new followers and the loyal subscribers. I truly appreciate being able to do this work and offer you these channel drawings and readings. So thank you so much from my heart to yours. Namaste.